Hello, I'm Kallol Dahal, and in today's class, we are going to learn about a visit to Mustang and a diary entry from chapter 4, grade 8. So let's begin.
Hello students, welcome to today's class, and today we are going to do another chapter, a visit to Mustang. Let's begin. A visit to Mustang. I knew a little about Mustang, Nepal, before I visited it in early 2020. I was curious to see a place untouched by tourists, away from the busy life of Hong Kong. Mustang has only been open to tourists since 1992, and non-Nepali tourists need a special travel permit to enter Upper Mustang. On the first night, I stayed in Pokhara to meet up with my tour group. Pokhara is the starting point for many treks that can be taken in the Himalayas. The staff of the hotel provided me with cushions and blankets to ensure I would not get cold during the night. The next day, my tour guide Reena picked me up early and we jumped in a jeep to start the journey. January in Nepal is usually somewhere between 0 to minus 15 degrees centigrade in the Himalayas. For that reason, the winter months draw few tourists to Nepal. Even though I was on my own, I was not lonely as we ended up picking up and dropping off several locals on the way. After a full 7 hours travel, we arrived at our first travel spot, Tatopani, meaning a hot spring. The spring itself was a small but charming natural pool. While relaxing in the warm water, my tour guide shared about her life growing up in Nepal. She told me about the rustic daily living conditions. The natural beauty of the place combined with its loving people was something that could not be replaced anywhere else in the world. Next day, we continued our trip from Tatopani to Kagbeni along the Kali Gandaki river. We saw the Himalayan mountain range, cliffs, eroded lands, and canyons. After the unforgettable journey, we finally arrived at Muktinath Temple, a beautiful place located in about 3,710 meters in the Annapurna range. Sacred for both the Hindus and Buddhists, the temple is also well known for attracting many pilgrims of different religions. Decorated with colorful flags, the temple offers panoramic views of the Himalayas. Buddhists say this is the only place on earth to host 5 elements of life. They have been symbolized in the colors of flags. Blue symbolizes sky, white symbolizes air, red symbolizes fire, green symbolizes water, and yellow symbolizes earth. 5 colors altogether represent a balance. After enduring a freezing night in a tea house in Muktinath, we awoke to a beautiful sunrise over the mountains. After a quick bite to eat, we headed back into the jeep to visit the historical village of Marfa. 2 hours later, the wheels of our van bumped into the heart of the village to have a look around. The town is famous in the area for its apple trees and unique architecture. The houses are built close together with flat roofing, creating a network of narrow alleyways that snake endlessly. Given the proximity of all the houses, the locals seemed to mingle naturally and create a close-knit community. Awaking in Marfa on the last day of my journey, I felt refreshed and warm. The previous night, I was finally able to enjoy a hot shower, a luxury I had gone without for 3 days. My time in Mustang was truly unforgettable. So that was about the chapter. Now let's head into the exercises. So let's begin exercise number A. Learn these words and complete the following sentences using them. She studied history of art and dash at the university. It should be history of art and architecture at the university. Now next. All the alleyways of the city are resurfaced. Many pilgrims visit the Muktinath temple every year. So, as we have done till now, this is A. So answer for B was all the alleyways of the city are resurfaced. Third one was many pilgrims visit the Muktinath temple every year. I found Nepali people charming and helpful. One can enjoy the panoramic view of the Kathmandu Valley from the top of the Darara. So now let's go to question number B. Put these sentences from the text above in the correct order. We have been given 6 options here, let's say 6 sentences, which we have to keep it in order in the way as they appeared in the text. So let's begin keeping them in the correct order. The first one is, the writer spent a night in Pokhara and met her tour group. So this is A. The second one is, the writer appreciated the hotel staff in Pokhara. The third one is, it took 7 hours for the writer to reach Tatopani. Then after that, the tourist guide shared experiences about her life with the writer. Then we have, the writer together with other members visited Marfa village. Then finally, the writer took a hot shower. Now let's go to question number C. Answer these questions. As you all know, this is going to be your homework. Please mark it down as your homework. I believe you would be able to find the answers from the texts. If it's difficult or if you have any doubt, please be sure to get back to us. As you can see, we have 2 more questions here. I expect you to do these questions as well. Listen to a teacher and pronounce these words. Notice what sounds the red letters make. The first word, behind, island, allowance, tour, night, ensure, shower, visual, side, manure, financial. That's how these words are pronounced. Now let's dive into grammar. The first question. Complete these sentences with missing words, phrases from the reading text. Discuss with your friends to identify the tenses. In order to do these questions, we need to refer to the text. So let's do that. Mustang dash open to tourists since 1992. Mustang has only been open to tourists since 1992. Question number B. On the first night, I dash in Pokhara to meet up with my tour group. On the first night, I stayed in Pokhara to meet up with my tour group. Next day, we dash our trip from Tatopani to Kagbeni. Next day, we continued our trip from Tatopani to Kagbeni. D. They dash in the colors of flags. They have been symbolized in the colors of flags. The last one. I dash refreshed and warm. I felt refreshed and warm. So let's go into the next exercise. Read the given paragraph carefully. Underline the verbs in the sentences and identify the tenses. With this, I remember I forgot to tell you which tense has been used in all of these. So let's do a few. This one has and V3rd. So this is present perfect tense. The second one simply has the past tense or the past form of the word stay. So this is simple past. Question number C, again simple past. Question number D, have been symbolized. Present perfect. The last one, simple past. So now let's do question number B as well. Have you ever had a frightening experience? The verb in this sentence is have had. So this is present perfect tense. I have had one. Have had, present perfect. Some years ago, I was heading to Biratnagar from Kathmandu by plane. So in this sentence, was heading is the verb and this is past continuous. It was alright at the beginning, but suddenly a problem occurred. Both of these verbs are simple past. The captain of the plane said to us in a very calm voice. This is simple past. Ladies and gentlemen, we are having a problem with one of the engines. This is present continuous. There is no need to panic, but keep your seat belts fastened. So this is simple present tense. We are heading back to Tribhuvan International Airport, Kathmandu. So this is present continuous. I felt a pain in my chest and people started to cry. Both of these are simple past tense. After some time, we landed successfully back at the airport. Similarly, simple past. I sighed with relief. Simple past. Since then, I have decided not to travel in a plane. This is present perfect tense. So now let's go to question number C. Fill in the blanks with one of the two alternatives given in the brackets. The sun set at 6 p.m. yesterday. You see, the present form of set is set. The past is also set. That's why this is a little bit confusing. This is used as for the simple past tense. The sun set at 6 p.m. yesterday. Get up. The sun has already risen. Jackson has eaten his lunch. The plate is still on the table. Jackson ate his lunch at 11 yesterday. Now the remaining ones, I expect you to do this as your homework. Now let's go to question number D. Complete the given sentences with one of the suitable verb forms from the box. So we have been given options. We are supposed to choose one of these to fill in the blanks given to us in the exercises. So let's begin. Question number A. Richard played football yesterday. They have washed their car again. It looks new. They have washed. They have washed their car again. It looks new. Last year, some of my friends went to Italy. Juni and Bikram dashed their homework. Now they can play. Juni and Bikram have finished their homework. Now they can play. The final one from my side is question number E. I dashed my parents 2 days ago. I called my parents 2 days ago. Now the remaining ones are your homework. Please mark this down as well. Now after finishing that, let's move on to writing. The question is, you must have had several memorable events in your life. Write 2 or 3 paragraphs about one of them. Include the answers to these questions in your paragraph. So what this question expects from you is, you have to remember a memorable event in your life, one of the memorable events of your life, and then you need to write those down in paragraphs of 2 or 3. But before you begin, you need to make sure that you include the answers to these questions. Those questions are, what was the event about? You need to write what the event was about. And then, when did it happen? Also, what lesson did you learn from it? So it is better to keep this in the last paragraph and these in the beginning paragraphs, either in the first one or the second one. Or what you can do is you can include the first A and B in the first paragraph, and then you can go on to explain what happened during those events or during that event in your life in the second paragraph, and the third paragraph you can include what lesson did you learn from it. So I hope you do this, because this is also your homework. Mark it down as well. Now let's move on to the second portion of this chapter. Reading 2. A diary entry. Saturday, 5 March 2022. Time 10 p.m. Dear Diary, brought up in the Western world, I was unaware of Nepal before, but as soon as I heard about Nepal, I could not stop myself visiting here. Fortunately, the long-awaited day came in 2022. Today, I went to a Nepali village located in Dhading district from Kathmandu. My day started very early in the morning. I was very excited. I traveled with my Nepali friend on an old bus at 7 a.m. in the morning. The bus was decorated with colorful images. It traveled along bumpy and windy roads, and I nearly fell off my seat a few times. We stopped at a rest stop halfway for coffee. Later, 2 young boys jumped onto the bus with instruments and played Nepali songs. I gave them 50 rupees because they made me feel close to the Nepali community. I would have given them more money if I had any to spare. So this means he did not have any extra money to spend, so that's why he had to give only 50 rupees. Otherwise, he would have given more than that. We arrived in the main village near the river and walked up a steep hillside. Finally, we reached a smaller village. My friend's large extended family lived there. They were very friendly. They served me a delicious lunch that included rice and curry in a traditional Nepali kitchen. I was so happy to see life in a rural village and meet lovely people. I was introduced to all the families of the village. I played football with the youngest child. He was good. I also had popcorn and dal for a snack in the afternoon. I looked at the oxen, goats, and stroked a baby goat that is also called a kid. I also enjoyed looking at the view from the top of the hill. The view from there was charming, which I cannot describe in words. Though I liked to stay there longer, we had to return. We left the place at 3 p.m., bidding goodbye to all. The journey back to Kathmandu was tiring. We walked down the hill from the village, which was hard. There were very few public vehicles with lots of passengers inside. We caught a bus that arrived on the main road. Soon I quickly found a vacant seat and sat. I closed my eyes as we traveled and fell asleep for 10 minutes. A man got onto the bus and played a musical instrument, which was interesting. However, I could not understand the words. I got off the bus and went to the supermarket on my way home to buy some bread and eggs. If I did that again, I would buy a bar of chocolate to take home as a treat. I arrived home in the evening, ate an omelette with bread, and got into bed early. I was really tired and sleepy. I write a diary every night so I can remember the amazing adventures I have had. I think I will start to write my diary during the day though, not just at night. I'm always too tired to write. I had a wonderful day today. I'll always remember the journey, the village, and meeting the family. In fact, the friendliness and support of Nepali people is really admirable. Neil. So I hope you have understood this reading too as well. Let's dive into the exercises. Match the words in column A with their meanings in column B. Bumpy. Of a surface, uneven, not smooth. Rural. Connected with or like the countryside. Charming, very pleasant or attractive. tiring, making you feel the need to sleep or rest. Steep, of a slope, rising or falling quickly. Admirable, deserving respect, excellent. Now let's go into question number B. Decide whether these statements are true or false. Write NZ, not given, if the information is not given. This was Neil's first visit to Nepal. This is definitely true, as he has explained it in the beginning of the chapter, or let's say the beginning of his diary. He visited the village together with his friend from England. This information is not present in the given text, so this would be NG. Neil did not like the music and the song. This is completely false, because he has said there that he liked it too much. That's why he gave 50 rupees as well. He admires the Nepali people. That's true. It's given in the last sentence. Admirable. Neil never closed his eyes throughout his journey so that he could enjoy the scenery. It was not possible for him, because he has said that he had to fall asleep, or he fell asleep because he was tired. Neil is going back to his homeland in the near future. This is not given to us at all. Now let's see question answers. When did the writer visit a village in Dhading? This answer is given here. He was in Dhading in 2022. The year 2022 was when the writer visited a village in Dhading. But while writing the answer, you have to write it like this. The writer visited a village in Dhading in 2022. Why did the writer give some money to the boys on the bus? The writer gave some money to the boys on the bus because they made him feel close to the Nepali community. All the answers are provided in the texts. You just need to look for it. So I hope remaining questions can be done by you. This is also your homework. Please mark it down. Now question number D. Surf the internet or search other sources and find an interesting diary entry. Share it with the class. What you are supposed to do in this question is you need to find out any diary or a day's journal written by someone, famous or not even famous as well. It's better if you find it in the internet, because there are other sources as well, but which are very difficult for you to find. So surfing the internet is the best possible way for you to find an interesting diary entry. You need to write it down in your copy and then share it with the class, or you can even read it to yourself. That is also your homework. Please do it. Now next one, grammar. Complete these sentences with the correct forms of the verbs. Use simple past or present perfect tenses. Use negative forms where necessary. So let's begin. Did you watch the movie The Queen? No, I haven't. Actually, I never watch English movies. You can simply write I never watch English movies, or you can also write actually I have never watched English movies. So for this, since we cannot use the present form as given in the question, simple past or present future tenses, we have to use I have never watched. I have never watched English movies. Sam visited Bali a year ago. My best friend and I have known each other for 15 years. We meet very often. Sunita is a fantastic writer. She has already written 10 books. We went on a picnic yesterday, but my younger brother did not. Ranjita, Did they play chess yesterday? No, they didn't. I did though. Have you brushed your teeth yet? He has not arrived here yet. He must have got stuck in the traffic. What's wrong with you? I have lost my pen. Now let's go to question number B. Use present perfect or simple past forms of the verbs to make sentences from the given clues, as in the example. Example is, Udit already sang many songs. Udit has already sung many songs. So let's do few of these exercises. We know each other since 2019. We have known each other since 2019. Muhammad bought a house in July last year. Muhammad bought a house in July last year. The Nepali cricket team already won several matches. The Nepali cricket team has already won several matches. I never visit a museum. I have never visited a museum. I sincerely hope that you must have understood why we have been using have or has and then withered, because this is the standard form of present perfect. Whenever we are going to use have or has, we have to use the third form of the verb, like we have done here. I have never visited. Visited is the third form of the verb visit. We have discussed this in the previous class as well. People grew a lot of rice last year. Since this is a question, we need to start this like a question. So this would be, did people grow a lot of rice last year? Next, Furba sing a song just now. Furba sang a song just now, or Furba has sung a song just now. Diana left for England last week. Since this is a question, let's pose it as a question. Did Diana leave for England last week? My parents live in Stockholm for several years. My parents have lived in Stockholm for several years. It rained a lot last winter? Question. So it should be, did it rain a lot last winter? I hope that you have understood how we have done these exercises. Now let's go to writing 2. Write a short diary entry about one of your days this week. You can use reading 2 as a model. Include the following. What you have been expected to do in this exercise is, you need to write a short diary entry about one of your days that you have just had this week. While writing that, you can either take reading 2 as a reference, or you can add these 3 questions and the answers would be a diary entry. So what do you need to add in that diary entry? What activities you did, how you felt when you got involved in those activities, and what you would have done differently. So remember what you did in any of these days and write the memorable activity or an interesting one. Whatever you find easy to write, remember that and jot it down in your copy. This is also your homework. So I believe I've already given you 4 or 5 exercises as your homework. I also expect you to do all of those homeworks. So that's all for today's class. I hope you have understood and you have had fun as well reading English. How did your class go today? If you have any suggestions or feedback, feel free to reach out to us at learning@dearwalk.edu.np. See you in the next class with another lesson. Thank you.